Tonight, the latest Q posts, and I think I've deciphered Trump's next move with the special counsel investigation. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. Just want to start by saying thank you to each and every one of my subscribers. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so I definitely want to start by saying thank you to each and every one of you. If you haven't yet, come here to the landing page, go ahead and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos become available, you are notified, because as soon as the information is made available to me, I make it available to you. And tonight, we're going to get into some pretty interesting topics. So, going to the Q board, this is the latest of the late, okay? And it's another kind of stringer here, and we'll get into deciphering that in a minute. But first, I want to explain to everybody who's kind of new to this what a trip code is, okay? Q posts here, trip code update Q, and he does this from his original trip code. Now, then it says updated trip code Q, and we have a new trip code that Q is going to be using from here forward. Now, what is a trip code? Well, think of it this way. A trip code is like a username, and each of these usernames has a password that's made available to each of the Qs. And I thought a person who I read here on Reddit kind of broke it down perfectly, and we'll read through this. Let's say that Q uses a password of ABC123 ABC456, and it generates a trip code of, you see it there, UW.YYE1FXO. Now, every member of the Q team, assuming there are more than one, has that password, and all is well. If the mega computers of the CIA are hashing away, trying to reverse crack the trip code, and it appears they are getting close to doing so, the Q team changes the password to, for example, Jack and Jill 7 down. And the trip code now shows as XOWAT4Z3VQ. Distribute the new password to the team and the new trip code is activated. Really, they don't need a specific reason to do so as long as they tell us correctly. I believe posting under the old trip code and telling us about it, or telling us it is about to change, then posting 35 seconds later under the new trip code and telling us it is the new one, is a very logical way to change the trip code and keep us informed correctly. So I trust the change. And so do I. I think that this is basically what just happened here, and that's what he's pointing to on the Q board. He's letting us know that they updated the trip code, so we went from the old username here, trip code, to a new one, because they have to stay ahead of the bots and the machines that are trying to decipher the password, reverse hack it, or however you want to reverse engineer the trip code there. Now, I have a theory, and I've been doing a lot of research on this post. That's why it's taken a couple minutes for me to get this video up, or at least an hour, a couple hours. But I think I've cracked the code. So if you guys want to hear what the code is, I will definitely start right now and let you guys know. So first, we read it. It says clock activated, red castle, green castle, stage 55 yes, or killbox Y Q. All right, now, there's a lot going on in this post that you guys may not even pick up on. But first, I want to know how many of you out there are really big on chess? And do you know what the term castling is? Because we're going to talk about it real quick. The term castling, it's a move in the game of chess involving a player's king and either of the player's original rooks. And in this move, it's the only move in chess where you can move two pieces simultaneously. Okay? Now, this is just for your knowledge. Just remember this. It's the rook has to be in its original place, and the king has to be in its original place, and then you can switch them, and it's called castling. Remember that. Now, castle. Who is castle? Why red, green? There's a lot going on here beneath that we need to look at, but let's take a look at it real quick. So, now what we're going to look at is this man right here. His name is William S. Castle. Who is William S. Castle? Well, he is the current acting general counsel. The Secretary of Defense appointed him as principal duty general counsel in August of 2017. So he's the acting general counsel to the Department of Defense. And why is he important? Well, I'm going to try to lay this out for you guys so you all understand. I hope I don't get too out of people's realm, but I think it's all pretty easy to understand what's going on here. Now, in order to understand this whole tweet, we got to understand Donald Trump's Twitter, okay? And why does that come into play? Well, I'm going to explain it right now. So this was a post on the March 21st, so about 2 days ago. And Trump texts here. He puts, okay, special counsel is told to find crimes whether a crime exists or not. I was opposed to the selection of Mueller to be special counsel. I am still opposed to it. I think President Trump was right when he said there never should have been a special counsel appointed because ... How many dots is that? It's 5 dots. Okay, so yeah, you guys got to stick with me here because this will all make sense once I'm done explaining it. Okay, in this post, Trump actually originally misspelled counsel. And we're going to look at that right now. So here's what I'm talking about. And this is all going to really kind of tie together with a nice neat bow at the end too. So you guys stay tuned for that. Here's an article talking about how Mika Brzezinski is laying into Trump because he misspelled counsel in the actual tweet that he was making. And it was this tweet here where you see it was corrected shortly thereafter. Now, why is this all important? Well, it's pretty interesting to think about what is being said here to the Q board. Okay, so the special counsel, and then we have William S. Castle, the counsel. Okay. Now, the difference between a counsel and a counsel, the counsel IL and counsel SEL, is a counsel with an IL is like a legal defense, and a counsel with an SEL is like a meeting or somebody who's like a consultant on, or they can counsel you on that issue. Now, why is it important that he made that mistake? Well, all right, so imagine this. The clock's been activated on what is going on here. I believe that this is referring to the fact that, okay, so I believe that it's referring to the fact that Trump is going to try to basically castle, it's funny how these names all line up, right? The special counsel Robert Mueller by firing him and immediately replacing him with a second special counsel that possibly will be headed up by this man here, William S. Castle, from the Department of Defense. Okay? Now, I could be totally wrong, and I really want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments because you guys are really spot on with this stuff. And if I get even the slightest thing incorrect, you guys are right there to kind of correct me and keep me on the straight and narrow. So please let me know what you think. But that's how I'm reading this as of right now with the information that I have available as of this moment. Now, Q mentions a lot throughout the post for us to learn chess, right? The last time he did it was when he gave the advanced foreknowledge of this meeting between Mark Zuckerberg and several high-ranking officials who were trying to develop a plan to mask and spin the Cambridge Analytica story that came out. So what they did there is they were actively working together to spin the story of Cambridge Analytica, which the story should have gone something like this. Facebook sells user information to third-party firm that ultimately benefits the Democratic Party or both political parties and is completely a breach of the trust and against what the operating principles for the company Facebook purport to be. But the media spun it like this. Steve Bannon uses Cambridge Analytica to collect email addresses which ultimately made it so that Trump won the presidency. You see how there's two different stories there? There's the one story where you take this microcosm within a bigger story and you say Trump's campaign used this illegal tactic in order to win the election, or steal the election, if you will. But the broader, bigger story is that the Republicans weren't the only one using that kind of tactic. And I don't even think they were the only ones who used Cambridge Analytica. I think there's ample proof to show that everybody was using them, even Obama back in earlier elections. So the point is here that the mainstream media is spinning this, okay? And that this is an example of Q giving us the foreknowledge. Now, here's a few examples of how we can read this, the castle, and why am I going with, pulling these names and all this stuff out? Well, I have good, ample reason behind it all. Now, first, let's look at green, okay? Green, actually, has been used quite often. Now, one of the ways it's been used, though, is very early. We had this cryptic stringer post here, right? And it said basically confirmation, DTT, V891. It had the up score. 0600, yes. Green 1, 0600. Bunker apple, yellow sky. +1, yes. Godspeed, Q. Now, Q goes on later to explain to us that this referred to this right here, which we'll look at. It's a helicopter crash on the Rothschild. So here's the article, just one of the articles. There's many. You can just put in Rothschild helicopter crash, and you'll pull up this. And what happened here is that a helicopter pilot was hit in midair by a Cessna 152. Now, the details behind this story are really crazy. This Vietnamese pilot, helicopter pilot, was reported to be training with this guy, Mike Green. And there was a Cessna that hit them midair, and the actual crash happened right over the Rothschild estate. And this guy, Savan Munday, was a student inside the Cessna. Now, the weird part about this story is that there were 4 people who were in this crash, but if you read through the story, there's actually an unidentified passenger who lost their life in the crash as well. Now, that unidentified passenger was picked up, I think, near or on from the Rothschild estate, which you can see they have these upside down stars, which we all know what that means. This Watson Manor, and he was picked up for a surprise sightseeing tour. Now, if that, to me, what that looked like when I look back at this, was an extraction. It was either a prisoner extraction, some kind of covert op to actually pull somebody out, and they tried to cover it up this way. Now, Q goes on to explain to us what it means. So he says, keywords, confirm, green, sky. Why were keywords added in the stringer? What was the purpose? What was previously stated? To who specifically? ++. And we all know from the ++, quick search of that will give you, I think, the Rothschild. Because why are the Rothschilds the ++? Well, we actually have right here, go down to the bottom. It actually explains. Here's the ++. They're the Rothschilds. They're one of the 3 sixes. Okay? +++ is the House of Saud. ++ is Rothschild, and plus is Soros. So what they were saying here in this post is that the keywords were added because, Mike Green, how many coincidences can you have? Mike Green's helicopter, or I don't know if it's Mike Green, but his helicopter, the pilot's helicopter, Mike Green, his helicopter crashes after getting hit by a Cessna after departing from the Rothschild or somewhere near the Rothschild estate. for a surprise, quote-unquote, sightseeing tour for an unidentified person who ended up losing their life in that crash. Now, why am I going into detail about all this? Well, because it all ties back into what we're going to be getting into. So you see here, and it gives you, +1. They had an extra passenger. But you see here what we're kind of getting at here. We're putting it together and saying, it says, who countered? Learn to read the map. Missing critical items. Graphic is key. Ordering is critical. Q. All right, so this is the map in my opinion. Now there's other supplementary maps that are kind of, a big, it's the graphics, the put together of all the families and all how they all connect. But this is really the map, and what he's telling us is that it was countered. They were trying to extract someone, and then the helicopter got crashed into by somebody who was probably on a suicide mission trying to stop that helicopter from getting out of that area. Now, it's kind of fascinating that, and you see it used a couple other times here where he gives specific, this is like coordinates that are in the Manila in Philippines. And they have what you would think is they're confirming an underwater demolition team to go into action here. But the reason I'm pointing to this, to draw it all back to what we're talking about here, is that Green and Castle, they're using these words because I think it's a suggestion that they're going to be castling, as in switching out the investigators. And the red would refer to the first tweet that Donald Trump put out where he misspelt counsel. And then the green is where he spelt it correctly, as in a signal, a wink to the cue board that this action is being taken. And behind the scenes, he's actually confirming, I think, that they're going to be switching out the special investigators from Robert Mueller to this guy, William Castle. Now, this is just a running theory from what I've been able to put together based on the limited amount of information that we have so far. But I really welcome you guys' input in the comments, because that's really one of the most important things. So, what do we know? All right, we know the clock is activated, so something is going to happen in a certain amount of time. Then we have red castle, green castle, possibly referring to the misspelled counsel in Trump's tweet. Then we have stage 55Y. So, what is the stage? Well, the last time that Q mentions stage before this is with his post here on March 10th. His post here on March 8th saying, set the stage, POTUS. Do you believe? Buckle up. Okay. Before that, Q mentions, is the stage set for a drop of HRC plus. So is it with the House of Saud and then the Soros and then 5 pluses? A lot of people, we've gone through so many different thoughts on this. I'm not going to rehash it all. And another thing is, if you guys want to check out more on the helicopter crash, come check out this video. It's in my on my channel. You can come here to the landing page and just go to videos, or go to popular uploads and scroll over. And this was on March 15th, in the Ides of March, where I put up this post about what happened kind of during, and all the players involved in that. Now, what we're kind of examining, though, is that you have stage, and a stage has been set, right? Now, 5-5 is mentioned here as well. And this would all tie back in, if you think about it, in the sense of switching out to a second special prosecutor or special counsel would actually change the dynamic of the entire investigation, from investigating Trump for a Russia hoax to investigating Hillary and the Clinton Foundation for Uranium One, the deleted emails, and the very number of other crimes that they are alleged to have committed. And why would be just, my guess is giving a confirmation to whoever is involved that they are the ones who will be in charge, or they are given the permission to enact it, or it's moving forward. Now, does that mean the video that people have been discussing exists? I don't know. And what video, if you don't know, in this post here, a lot of people speculated that the video is referring to a video of one of two things. The most prominent theories would go is that one is of HRC and UMA and some kind of graphic, I would say pornographic tape, allegedly. And then also the second theory is that it's secret recordings from the tarmac meeting between Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton. That we are finding reports now coming out that it was tried to cover. They tried to cover it up. The FBI did, and they were actually part of setting it up. I'm not saying the FBI rank and file. I'm talking about the top brass, such as the Rosensteins, the McCabe's, the Comeys. Now, Rosenstein I know is in the State Department, but the McCabe's and Comeys and of the like there. So, okay. I hope that that's kind of drawing everything in. That's my best educated guess, or if you will, just informed guess. So you guys definitely are going to need to let me know what you think in the comments. I think we have so much here. I'm going to be looking forward to getting more posts up tonight from Q, and then I can go ahead and try to break those down for you guys. But I hope that this helps explain a possibility of what is coming up next. This video, if, hopefully I'm right, and the news will come out in the upcoming days that special counsel has either been fired and replaced. And I do kind of think this castling move, because Q mentions chess so much here. And I think all these things, double, triple entendres, whatever, double, triple meanings, sometimes the simpler ones have the most meaning to them because it's simple. You have all this stuff that really you can go off of. So that's pretty much it for this video. But there's more. So if you want to find a way to contribute to the channel, the best way that you can do it is to come here to this landing page. Go ahead and click this big red subscribe button. It'll be right here. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you can get notified when the videos are posted. As soon as the information gets available to me, I make it available to you with a thoughtful deciphering of the information. So that is the first and foremost and the easiest way you can help me out. It's like giving me $1. I really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you a thing. So I just thank you in advance for coming and doing that. The second greatest way you can kind of help out is to leave a comment. If you have a thought, if you have a theory, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right, if you want to share some Bible verse, if you want to share just a inspirational word or two, please go down there. And if you can't comment, please go down and read the comments, because each one of these videos ends up becoming a Q research board with thousands of comments from the beginning here. At this point, tens of thousands, and we have these great dynamic conversations where there's so much information being shared. This is what they don't want us to do, so that's why we have to do it. So yeah, please comment. I do my best to read through each and every one of them. It is a lot of reading, but it's totally worth it, and you guys are really awesome. So I do my part in my due diligence in reading through the comments of each one of these videos, and you guys are what help make this channel possible, so please remember that. Now, if you're looking for another way to contribute, come over here to check out my Twitter page. It's at Justin_formed. You can also search Justin Formed Talk in the search bar here on Twitter. Come here and make sure you click follow, and you guys will get the good thing about this channel. I do a little bit of tweeting and memeing and replying and retweeting and all that, but the best part about it is that if you're looking for another way, because I know a lot of people say the notifications on YouTube can be kind of sketchy and don't work all the time, the videos get automatically posted here, so you'll be notified as soon as my video gets posted to YouTube. It gets an automatic tweet over here on Twitter, and you guys can go look through my page. So much going on over here that it's just really incredible. Now, if you're looking for another way to contribute, this is an amazing way you can help out. I really appreciate you. Come here to patreon.com, patreon.com/justinformedtalk, or you can come to patreon.com and just search Just Informed Talk. And basically what you can do here, you click this bid red button when you come to my landing page to become a patron. You can contribute anything from $1 to infinity. I'm not going to tell you how much to contribute. Come here and check out my goal and my rewards. Pretty interesting stuff. You can earn a chance to have an email correspondence with me, or you can earn a chance to become a featured Patreon patron of an episode, and also you can actually earn your chance to get an official Just Informed Talk t-shirt. So come here and check out this page, if you will. Thank you in advance for doing that. And again, thank you to each and every one of my patrons that I've gotten so far. You guys are really top-notch people, and I'm just so incredibly thankful to each and every one of you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. Now, that's going to wrap it up, but I'm going to take 1 second to do something that's really important, the most important thing, and it's at the end of each of my episodes. And that's I'm going to take 2 seconds here to give you a little, to share with you a little something about God and how wonderful and glorious He is. Sometimes people are put in situations that are incredible, and sometimes God just affords the best blessings, but sometimes God puts people in places that are tough and not the best places. But we all share the commonality of grace and sharing in God's grace. Because no matter where you are in life, if you're at the top of the top or the bottom of the bottom, if you don't have God in your life, you don't have much. You could have all the cars in the world, all the fame, all the glory, and you could still be spiritually bankrupt. And the same goes if you have nothing. If you have nothing and you have God, you can be spiritually fulfilled. So the important lesson to take away from that is that we all need to focus on God first. We need to embrace Him first. We need to put Him at the forefront of all of this. The Q boards are great. QAnon's a patriot and helping us out. Donald Trump's a great president, doing a great job, working hard for us. But in order to defeat the globalists, the Luciferians, the pedophiles, the weirdos, and all that, we have to understand that the battle is not being fought in a mortal plane. The battle is being fought more overly in a spiritual plane. And that spiritual plane is the divide between good and evil, and God and Satan, and light and darkness. So we need to embrace the light. We need to embrace God. We need to embrace good. These things are what are going to take us to the victory. Now, if you want to believe in anything, you just, all you have to do is believe in God. Because once you do that, everything else becomes incredibly clear. And I pray that each and every one of you takes 1 second to embrace God, because He is the one who makes each day possible. He is the one who will redeem us and save us. He is the one who died on the cross for our sins. And He is the one who will ultimately give you eternal life in heaven. Just remember, our lives here on this earth are but a blip in the spiritual cosmos that is the universe that we live in. So, accepting God in your life will ultimately be the best decision you've ever made. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So if you didn't take anything away from this episode, I hope that you take that away, that God loves you and that you are redeemable and that you will be saved as long as you open your heart to Him and shed His light. So take that away. All right. So thank you all for watching. Again, If you feel so inclined, I would really appreciate it if you'd come here and click the big red subscribe button. Please click the bell for notifications so you get notified when these videos get posted. And that's going to be it for tonight. So again, thank you for watching. I'm Craig. This is Just Informed Talk. God bless and Godspeed, Patriots.